John, wake up.
What's it?
Next door, I heard a scream.
Stay here. Come and check it out.
John? Is everything all right?
Oh my God, you're covered in blood.
Go back inside. It's not mine. It's not. Go back inside and call an ambulance right now. Go!
I like your dolls.
Of course, this is about a possessed demonic doll, but I imagine as actors, it was easy to connect with the story because it's rooted in some very real themes. You know, early on, you have mention of the Tate LaBianca murders that had kind of just happened at the end of the 60s. So did that help you craft the characters?
Definitely. When I read the script and I knew it was set in, late 60s, early 70s, I was really interested about, researching into kind of Los Angeles at the time. Yes. There was, it was the Manson era. There was also Vietnam going on. There was so many social changes happening, and I really thought how interesting it must be for a couple moving through a time like that, and the pressures of those social changes. And I just found it really interesting that, that all applies to what a truth there, because as an actor you want to stem from some kind of truth, you want to attach yourself to some form of reality, and I think there was a lot to play with at the time, and especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah. No, I think the time period definitely, for me, played a big role in just being able to kind of get into the character and get into, the environment that's going on. We, as actors, yes, the Annabelle doll is the scary, very scary part of it, but for us, it was more of a connection between the two of us and starting this little family together, and I think that the creative team allowed us to really do that, and I think that's what the audience hopefully is going to connect with, just this family just starting out and going through everything that's going on, during the time, and then, with this doll.
It's really interesting the different way that both your characters react to the fact that times are changing. And you have to Mia has to remind John to lock the door. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about that. She sort of has an instinct about what's going on, and you're kind of ignoring it to an extent.
I think that the maternal instinct is so present in me at that time. She's pregnant, and she's going to do whatever she can to protect her child. Yeah. And I think, John's a little late to the party as far as that goes. He, he's also a doctor. He sees things in black and white. And so when this Annabelle thing happens and all of this is going on with her, he wants to support his wife completely, and he believes her that something's going on, but he also wonders, he makes a comment about postpartum. He wonders if there's something more going on inside of her and then actually this stuff maybe isn't happening, because he doesn't see it for a while. It takes him a little time before he actually sees evidence of what's going on. And as a doctor, he needs to see the evidence before he'll kind of agree, and understand it. And he eventually does. But it's not for not believing her. It's not for, wanting to support her, because he does. Yeah.
I think it's an interesting time. Like Mia, what I wanted to make sure was kind of evident from the start was that she was slightly removed, that she was, in every context, she was maybe more observant, more quiet, more introvert. And I think that for me it was very much that she had kind of a second sense of something rumbling within her, and I do believe that there are people who sense different energies and things like that, and I think that she was almost in denial of that, and I think if you are someone who is sensitive in that way, you can't deny it. It finds you in the end.
I don't particularly think what you're experiencing is the ghost of that girl.
Why not?
Well, ghosts haunt specific places, usually where something terrible has happened, like your old house.
We moved and it's still happening.
Which is why I don't think it's a ghost. But now that cult, you said that they were trying to summon something. From what I've read in the past, these cults, they don't summon ghosts. They summon inhuman spirits. Something that's never existed in the flesh.
What I think these films that James Wan has produced and directed have in common is the fact that there are strong female characters at the center. They're vividly constructed, and also they form these powerful relationships with one another, which is a rare thing to see on screen, and that's gotten a lot of attention as of late. So I'm wondering what it means to you to sort of be a part of this world now.
Well, you know what? I hadn't thought about that, but now that you say that, that's very interesting. I'll look at it in a different way now, but I just know that I was attracted to this, first of all, because of the genre, and nobody's ever asked me to do the genre. And I knew Leonetti's work as a cinematographer, so I was excited to work with him as a director. And then so I read the script, and I kind of go, and then I met Annabelle Wallis, and she is lovely. Yeah. And even when we were reading, we sat next to each other for the first read-through. We were reading, we were going, oh my God. And so most people in the room were just reading or listening. But we had a bond right off because just the words and the situations, sparked an emotional reaction in us. And so I knew I had a simpatico actor to act with. And we worked well together, we played well together, and I think it was very easy for me to my character Evelyn, to establish a relationship, an unusual relationship, a relationship you may not want to have with someone in the film.
And Evelyn's backstory is so rich. I'm sure it was helpful for you to connect to these very real themes about motherhood and loss.
That's what separates a paranormal thriller from a slasher gore movie. And I think it's, and those have their place, but I think this type of film attracts people who want complexity, they want reality, and then they want you to scare the hell out of them. So it makes it even scarier if it's based out of, if it feels like it could be you or somebody you know, then that's when it's delicious. Nobody knows Freddy Krueger. I'm sorry. It's like, and he's fine and that's great, but you can detach yourself a little. This is like, oh God, I'm gonna be thinking about this for the next month.
Sometimes demons can attach themselves to objects.
What do I do?
Protect your family.